me take a time out to say a special good morning and welcome to our listeners, welcome viewers. It's To The Point here on Classic Radio GBN TV. It's Wednesday, the 29th day of October within the year 2025. Good morning to those of you also, of course, via social media platforms, Facebook page, YouTube channels, and certainly thank you for taking the time out to, of course, be part of today's edition of To The Point. I'm your host, GT. I was expecting a guest this morning and for some reason haven't seen them arrive as yet. I'm not sure if they have arrived or they have cancelled on me. I'm not sure what has taken place, but I actually delayed starting the program for 5 minutes or so to see if they would have showed up, but no one have showed up yet. I haven't had any information from anyone stating the reason or reasons why they're not here as yet. So which leads to us have to just a bit of a change in the program format for just a wee bit this morning. It's going to lead us to have an open line edition until I guess do show up. We will accommodate them because it should have been an interesting program this morning in terms of the conversation that should have been had if the guests were here. So until then, it's going to be us an open line, which means you listeners and viewers out there, you have the option of calling in 435-2041. As I would like to mention to you also, double the option of calling in. You have the Facebook or, my apology, the WhatsApp or the direct line 435-2041 that you can call in. Let's make a contribution this morning. No significant subject matter to speak about this morning. Of course, someone may just come up with a subject matter that everyone may feel they want to, of course, get involved in and of course, share their thoughts and share their concerns in relation to everything else you want to talk about. Let's go to the phone line. We do have a first caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Welcome. And how are you doing this morning? Let me get that caller in. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Welcome.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you this morning?
I tried to call last night on the cultural program, but I didn't get you in the keys,
Okay.
So Daniel and Godfrey and Mr. White was on the program. They mentioned about something about water, agriculture, the pure water is not really good for the plant. But I told Mr. Hosman years ago to run 2 pipes in everybody's home. One for your bathroom and the toilet. Say for the kitchen and your bathroom, pure water. And for the toilet, give us water, untreated water for your garden and your car, outside to wash your yard and things. It's much better. So don't tell me that's too expensive to maintain.
Well, it's true. So it's also going to be of a cost nature in relation to that. You understand?
Simple, but you're paying for it.
Well, you will have to pay for it, but in terms of getting the infrastructure prepared to get them to your house both ways, it will be a cost.
And we paying for a meter for years and still do meter belongs to our sir?
Yes.
Everything a cost. To want a plane, to want a boat, a cost, but in long term you benefit. I didn't tell them about the spring water in Tantin and concern spring in Paddock. Put some tank among Tantin and Tantin drain, about 50 tanks and Tantin drain. Any amount you could put it. And we won't let water go in, spring water going to sea directly. Tell me how that again cost.
Caller, sometimes it's easier. Sometimes it's easier said than done. You understand? Thinking about the idea and getting it implemented is a whole different story. You know that.
There's nothing man can do if man want to do things, boss, man.
I like your optimism. I like the how optimistic you are about it. If you want to get it done, you should get it done. But sometimes it's easier said than done.
Yeah, but you see, the element of some concern the water for his plant, he usually rainwater. So you say rainwater, so as rain falling right now, he says any plant must crop down where he living down the south. And other people don't plant nothing to the rain because rain falling much in any case. But if you have water directly from, say, direct water from you have water preserved certain place and you have water untreated. So you give them people treated water for the flowers garden, for the kitchen garden, to wash the car, the toilet, everything, but I'm building. Even to build 2 hotels in Celebrity, doing water treated to build the water come back out. That going to concrete and come back out, boss man. So if you get water, even to fire and all, you're using water treated on fire, then coming back, that's gone.
All right, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning, and I certainly do understand where you're coming from. Have a good morning. All right. 435-2041, 435-2041. We do have another caller on the line. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Welcome. How are you doing?
Good morning. Morning, GT.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I have not had the fortune of seeing the images of Jamaica. I have only been hearing from others some of the devastation, the massive devastation in Jamaica, and now onto Cuba. Before that was in Haiti and so on. I just want to use this opportunity to help people to challenge people to understand that what we see in Jamaica could have happened here.
So true.
And it just had to have the trajectory of the hurricane coming at a lower or different latitude, and we would have been hit. And more and more, we can expect that kind of serious, violent hurricane. Not violent as from human, but violent our inability to respond. You know, the Caribbean knew how to respond to the hurricanes, unlike us. Of course, maybe not that we stand the strength of those now, but we killed them out. By and large, we destroyed them, so they're no longer around to tell us. But the whole thing about it is we need to really take the issue of climate change seriously. And that's why I'm a little bit worried and troubled when we are, as a nation, is talking about doing oil and gas.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it needs some money, but every new amount of emission into the atmosphere, no matter how small it is, will contribute to the further heating of the atmosphere and the ocean. So we need to decide whether we want a future that is livable or become more hostile. I'm saying that because in the Philippines, either 2 years ago or so, the Philippines had 6 consecutive back-to-back cyclone or typhoon, depending on the name they call it there, with a devastating consequence. It's possible we could have that too. And then we could pray, we could do all kinds of things when the time comes. If we don't begin to do what we need to do, stop cutting our trees recklessly, stop dismantling our environment, degrading our environment in terms of cutting rocks, cutting something where you should leave it, and even strengthen the hill. And all of these, all such things. We need to, and also get our people prepared so that we could be in solidarity with one another. So when an event like happen, we are not scrambling and then there'll be mayhem because everybody will be looking out for the whole seven. There'll be violence, there'll be crime, there'll be all kinds of things. Take this thing seriously. And so we need to decide whether we will join those who have helped to destroy the earth by going into fossil fuels. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. 435-2041, 435-2041. It's an open line this morning on today's edition of To The Point. Caller, you are live. Good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, sir.
To your followers, my hat goes out to the people of Jamaica this morning. Thankfully, it was not as direct a hit as we thought it was going to be. Hit them, the whole country, but I understand the northern part was devastated now. Montego Bay and so, which is the hub of the tourism activity. So I know they're going to hurt very badly from that. So let's remember them in our thoughts and prayers. But you know something, GT? And I live in the south of the island, and especially during rush hours, people going to and from work. So many of the people who are walking the street, they're speaking Spanish. A lot of them. And all around you hear the accent.
Makes you uncomfortable sometimes, huh?
No, not really that uncomfortable. The fact is that there are so many people who are in our workforce right now in the South.
I understand. I was just mentioning it in that context sometimes, it makes you uncomfortable if you're not knowledgeable of the language yourself.
Yeah, but my concern is, I remember, it takes me back about to the 1980s and so, when Grenadians were flocking to Trinidad to work, especially in construction. And the reason being that the Trinidadians didn't want to work. They didn't want to work, but Grenadians were coming, and Grenadians were coming and getting jobs and doing very well. Some of them came back after a while. Some of them stayed on. And Some of them are still in Trinidad, but they did very well, while Trinidadians were refusing to work. And I see the same thing is happening in Grenada today. A lot of people complaining about they can't get work. But folks that live in other countries, they have to pay rent. They don't have a brother or a sister or cousin in the country who can bring them to breadfruit or a hand and fig or something. But they're surviving. They're surviving. They're getting by. But yet our people who are here are complaining that we can't get work. Now look at Trinidad today. You see the children of those same ones who couldn't work? You see what they're getting involved in? The drugs. And you see how they're dying, the rate at which they're dying on a daily basis. And I am worried about the future of Grenada. With all these people who are not working, who are refusing to work, when there is work, foreigners are coming, total strangers, they finding work, they're still able to pay their rent, they're still able to meet the bills, but we are complaining. And I don't want to fast forward to where we may be 20, 30 years from now with that attitude towards working and being industrious. I just hope that we do not follow that pattern, but I'm seeing it setting up as how it was, to our neighbor in the south. And where they are today, I would like us to get there. That's just my concern I wanted to share this morning.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your contribution. And I do respect your contribution, sir, but I may not agree that because individuals in a certain way doesn't want to work, that their offspring may turn out to become, users of drugs and so forth. I do not agree with you on that, And I do respect your opinion and how you feel. Let's go back to another caller. Caller, your life. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Brother T. How are you today?
Doing great. How are you this morning?
Yes, I'm to the point. I want to know if we of Grenada, the citizens, can call the parliament representatives and ask them to put aside in the budget some money, some funds for transportation, because the vulnerable, the disabled, the elderly having pure hell trying to get to medical support. They cannot get transportation. To get to the medical institute is a challenge. To get food is a challenge. So I was wondering if the whole of Grenada could call the representatives in Parliament and the cabinet.
Well, I'm assuming, caller, when there is budget consultation in your particular constituency, probably you could attend the budget consultation and have a conversation with your representative and see how that could move forward for you. All right. 435-2041, 435-2041. We do have another caller. We go back to the line. Caller, live. Good morning. Welcome. Caller, good morning. Guess we missed that caller there. Caller, live. Good morning and welcome.
Yeah, how are you going these days, boy? You good?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, my dear?
Well, not so good at all,
You're not doing so good.
Well, you see, these days, the older you get, all kind of things cropping up. So it seems to me that cheese and oil and butter and so on is not my friend.
Well, I guess you may have to work on changing that diet. Yeah.
That's exactly. But I just want to invite people to the town hall meeting tonight at the Deluxe Cinema at 6 p.m. A town hall meeting, and particular address to the constituency of South St. George. Everybody know that already, and I never called anybody right honorable because I know.
Let's not get into a back and forth with that. That was sometime last week. Let's deal with the present.
Right. So I want you to call because it is important that you have a right to know what's going on in your country and your constituency, and because we pay these politicians and they are accountable to us. So persons desirous of going to that town hall meeting in the constituency of South St. George. The telephone number you have to call because it's tonight, 440-1110 or 457-5569. Again, 440-1110 or 457-5569. And of course, I must have to compliment the most honorable Andy Williams. He's the most popular, the most beloved, and he always cares about his people. He wants people to be involved because he's not like that. You vote for somebody once and you can't haven't seen him again. He's really accessible and he's doing a great job in the South. And you know something? When you really look at it, he's the most popular politician today in Grenada and also in the diaspora. He's doing a great job.
All right.
So people, I want you to go tonight to the town hall meeting and ask the hard questions to these politicians, because Grenada is not a secretive society. It doesn't belong to any individual. And it's time that we hold these politicians accountable. So South people, support your candidate, your elected representative who's doing a great job, and go and ask the questions, the tough questions tonight, because we are paying them.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Caller via WhatsApp, good morning, you're live. Welcome.
Hey, good morning, JT.
Good morning to you, sir.
Brother, I listened to friends that you're talking about fossil fuel burning and all kind of thing. JT, before they used to burn fossil fuel, hurricane was there. Hurricane shaped the whole of the Caribbean. All you see those islands there, hurricane will bring them so. Millions and millions of years ago was one piece of land, but the track of the hurricane shaped the island to how it is. So fossil fuel and no fossil fuel, that can stop the hurricane. The hurricane coming regardless of what. You guys say burn fossil fuel or you don't burn it, it's coming. That's something that will happen and nobody can stop it.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much.
All we have to do is JT.
All right. Thank you so much. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Welcome.
Greetings, Mr. Telesford. How are you?
Good morning to you, sir. Doing well, sir. How are you?
Mr. Telesford, in this here country, there's never a dull moment. Isn't it amazing? But let's get serious now, Telesford. Grenadians, I urge you, if you haven't listened to it yet, look at and listen to the proceedings of our quote-unquote so-called parliament in the sitting yesterday. And see for yourself. Analyze for yourself. Listen to what was said and by whom these words were spoken. Look at their behavior. Look at their mannerisms. Analyze for yourself. This country is down the truth. It's almost beyond the P-trap, as it's called. The abuse of these people that we elect to do things in the interest of the people, the masses, is manifesting more and more total failure. Listen, arrogance, pomposity, ignorance, incompetence, ineptitude, improvisionism, stupidity at certain level, Mr. Telesford. These people are clearly demonstrating that they are learning nothing. And if they, in fact, they are learning, mind you, this is nothing personal against anyone because I don't know them. I only hear them on radio and they're Grenadians and they hold responsibilities in the state, but they're insulting the people of this country. This is why I urge you Grenadians to seriously consider reconstituting this nation to stop this abuse. The time has come. We cannot continue to elect people in this country just because they're quote-unquote nice. Now, he is cool and she is this and that because they give you... No, we will have a bottle anytime he pass. No, you can show a bottle on the shop counter. No, he won't give you a job done. You'll get a block. No, brothers and sisters, we have to go beyond that. This mama gets up and then handing your money out in envelopes and all them kind of thing. When election come around, no. We have to stop that. We have to elect people with integrity. And how do we measure the integrity? What they've done before. The manifestation. We have to, in other words, judge them by their deeds. Their capacity is one thing, yes, but they say one thing and they do another. But in addition to that, brothers and sisters, we have to set correct rules to hold them responsible and accountable for their deeds in the government apparatus. And whereas the system does not permit us to hold them responsible, even take them to court for their abuses, they will continue. Brothers and sisters, we have to reconstitute this nation. Let us seek a referendum in this country to ask the people a simple question, although it may sound simple. Alternative question. Do we wish to continue to live under an imperial and Council of the Queen's Most Excellent Majesty, or do we want to write our own constitution through a constituent assembly so the people can sit and debate the matters that are confronting the country today and decide amongst themselves in consent by an elected body outside of the government? Remember, we don't want any CC boards, lawyers to come and make all kind of hoax decisions and so on, abusing the current constitution. Otherwise, we need a constituent assembly where the people collectively would sit to the elected representative to future of Grenada. We cannot continue. Millions of dollars end here. Millions of dollars. And I assure you, we'd have a $2 billion budget presented to us soon. The money is being spent and nothing is happening in this country, and more disrespect. Oh, your God bless eyes, Grenadians, and let mine be the goddamned ones. Have a nice day, will you, Mr. Telesford, sir? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much also for your contribution this month. Folks, we're due for a break. We're going to take that break. When we come back, of course, we continue with today's edition of To The Point. Stay with us. Don't touch your dial. We will be right back after the short.
Let's celebrate the 19th annual Hubbard's Legends in Concert on Sunday, November 9th from 5 p.m. at the Grenada Trade Center with the best of Grenada along with the Black Prince and the Pink Panther. Our partners, Hubbard's, GBN, Grenada Paper Products, Grenada Distillers Limited, makers of Clax Court, Grenada's #1 rum, Brentville Credit Union, Bryden and Miners, Agents 4, Johnny Walker, Smirnoff Vodka, and Campari, Renwick Thompson and Company Limited, Pierre Marcel, Hard On Plus, Gittins Healthcare, Dollar Savers Auto Parts, Rise and Shine Supermarket, Springs Food Mart, Excel Plaza, Clem Vision Eye Center, Chillaxing Cafe, Ansett Coating, Victory Bar, Blue Bubba's PA Rental and Events Supply, Chateau de la Motte, Grenada, Captain Harris Apartments, Gem Holiday, Beach Resorts, Dana's City Inn, Glen Egg, Spring Water, and the Grenada Trade Center. Sunday, November 9th, 5 p.m. Grenada Trade Center, the 19th annual Hubbard's Legends in Concert. Please be seated by 4 p.m. Hubbard's Legends in Concert.
Hey everyone, here is an invitation to join me this and every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. on GBN Television 711 K105 FM, our Facebook page and YouTube channel for Kaiso Talk. Meet the Kaisonians, hear their stories, feel the vibes. Kaiso Talk, Wednesdays 8:30 p.m. Compliments the Grenville Credit Union.
Grenada, get ready! GBN and the Ministry of Education presents Christmas Harmonies 1.0, the inaugural primary school choir singing competition, December 5th, 1 p.m. The Grenada Trade Center. 15 schools, magical voices, and fierce competition. Cheer for your favorites in categories like Overall Champion, Most Creative, Best Solo, and Best Group. Entrance, adults $10, children $5. Don't miss the holiday magic. Christmas Harmonies 1.0, where Grenada's brightest and youngest voices shine. Be there.
Got something to share?
Call us at 440-1252.
WhatsApp 405-3052 or 407-8458.
Or email gbnnews@gbn.gd.
GBN News, first, accurate, voted #1.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to The Point here on Classic Radio and GBN TV. Those of you via our social media platforms, good morning to you also, and thank you for being with us this morning. And a few of course, messages via the WhatsApp. Someone is saying, good morning. It's clear evidence that Maurice Bishop was one of the world's best leaders. Everything he said is coming to pass. That's a contribution there via the WhatsApp. There's also another one that's saying, good morning. Why has the NMP kept silent in reference to answered the request of putting radar in the Maurice Bishop Airport. This is not a NMP or NDC issue. It's a Grenada problem. NMP always be vocal in every aspect of politics. Why have they kept silent? Where Emmeline, she is always running and whatever else. I don't think it's appropriate to mention that on air. Let's go to the phone line. Call A Live. Good morning to you.
Good morning, GT.
Good morning to you, sir.
Your listeners and your viewers, if there is any. I was somewhat disappointed with you not asking Mr. Rolo what was the specific infraction in the Parliament yesterday, because he ranted and raved a thing. He seems to be ranting and raving of a lot of things that happened yesterday that was not whatever. But he failed to educate the nation as really went wrong and what should have been done correctly. I was fortunate to be listening to the proceedings yesterday when this incident came up about basically the legality of the city in light of what has came to the every member that they did not get their papers in time. That was procedurally something that's procedurally have to happen. It seems that there was some agreement on the side of the Parliament for the Parliament to proceed, but we have to remember that Parliament is the highest institution of the land, and precedent has set what happens there. Yes, and if something is wrong, there is a way of correcting it and documenting it. And Parliament is a place where you do everything that you do. And I don't know if the arrangement that was made outside of the sitting as to the Parliament proceeding that morning was documented and if it was legal. I mean, the Prime Minister is a legal mind. And the question that he asked of the Speaker was very, very relevant. And I think that is where our attention has to be. I mean, if it is that something was wrong, what Parliament years after you will be able to go back in the Hansard and say that is what was done? It should be documented in the Parliament, not outside of the Parliament in some room. I mean, that is my position on it. That could be very, very wrong. So I think it was very right in Parliament being adjourned yesterday at the time when the question was raised, and in my view, that what was supposed to have happened. I was disappointed again in Mr. Rolo this morning because I think his thing now is more, attention seeking than anything else. I really thought he'd have bring out the essence there, and because everything that we do, we must try to educate our people, taking them to the wrong and leading them to where it should be, even if it's your opinion. Yes, but I think we should always stress on the educational part of it. Mr. Rolo say, and he's going back to this Constituent Assembly. I understand his position on all of that, but what was the problem yesterday? It should have been highlighted and state what should have been, instead of ranting and raving and making us, in my view, foolishness. Thank you and have a good morning.
You too, sir. Have a good one. Thanks for your contribution also. 435-2041, 435-2041. We go back to the phone line. Caller, you are live. Good morning and welcome. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Morning. One of your previous caller that's rating up a particular politician, she seemed to be doing a PR job. She needs to let him know that there are lots of small businesses in Grenville that's suffering as a result of his indebtedness to us in Grenville. And if she can pass the message.
Seem to may have lost that caller there. No fault of my own. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's the number. If you want to be part of today's edition After the Point, we have an open line edition this morning, which means you listeners and viewers have the option of calling in. We have the direct line, 435-2041. We do have the WhatsApp, 435-2041. And they're both available for you to call in and make your contribution. If you prefer to send a message, I will certainly read it on there also. also deem it's in its contents is appropriate to be read on air, I certainly will do that also. 435-2041, that's a number if you want to be part of To the Point this morning here on today's edition. It's Wednesday the 29th. I did have the scheduled guest to be on the program this morning, and for some reason the others there, I've not said that was not, they just didn't show up, if I could say it in that particular manner, and so which led to us having to just of course make an instant change in terms of the format this morning and do an open line. 435-2041, 435-2041. Let's go back to the phone line. We do have a caller via the WhatsApp caller. You are live. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, GT, and how you doing?
Doing great this morning, sir.
Yes, sir. And I must indeed say that's a very pretty shirt.
Great observation as always. Good morning to you.
Good laughter here for me. Thank you. In the midst of
if you understand the circumstances, it's good for me to have a laugh this morning.
Yeah, I must indeed.
I did say I'm good, but somehow I did lost my mother-in-law yesterday, but I still keep a smile on my face.
I do want to extend my deepest condolences to you and to your family on the loss of that.
All right.
Definitely, sir. I must indeed say, though, that when I definitely think back over the situation, it bothers me a bit. And I'll tell you what bothers me. Many persons stood up and say, I'm talking about leaders and different politicians throughout the Caribbean, through the region, would have stood up and say that they did not, they would not, in regards to the Cuban nurses and doctors, that they were not in any way going to be willing to, they were willing to give up their visas in that respect. And I do understand that only one person lost theirs. Now, when the request was made, and I think back over the request that was made to put the radar on the airport, there was one particular person who came out very early in the after the request was made. I went publicly stating that it should be a no. Now, when I think back about where that person's thing lies, and listening to people on in respect to that, stating that they have a good relationship with the government that is making the request, and then he is saying in one respect that he would be saying no. And then I'm wondering, it makes me wonder, really and truly, what is the situation behind all of this? Now, I know politics plays, and when I talk about politics, I'm talking about geopolitics, where people try to make regime change in different ways. Some might do it militarily, others might do it based on pressures, by making different requests. So that situations can be brought up, so that changes can be made in the politics. Now, what I'm thinking, though, and I'll tell you my straight feelings about it, is that we as Grenadians must support our leadership. And I think in the event that even if there's an attempt to create a regime change, I am thinking that we as Grenadians must make sure that does not happen. We must make sure, because it wouldn't come militarily. It would never happen militarily. But if it happens due to requests and different situations, as to taking away visas or whatever it is, Grenadians has to say no to it. If you want to say no to the request made to put the radar, then you have to say no to any regime change in Grenada. We have to go out and make sure that whoever is there now return if and when there's an election. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your contribution. Appreciate it a whole lot. We do have another caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
You know, GT, education is the key. And a nation who don't really understand the significance of education, not just from a political or socio-economic point of view, but who has that religious or that godly outlook in terms of how we should go, we should do. Now, my real urgent call is that we should try as a people and as a government to integrate education from the point of view of political science and ethics. The reason why I'm saying this, right, because we tend to back or follow our political party based upon personality, based upon who we like, but not necessarily based upon policies and what that's been done. You know, because I've seen it, and sometimes it's amazing having different conversations, hearing what people say. Sometimes certain things just don't make sense. At the same time, we do all have who we support, but I should not be supporting blindly. Now, the reason why I'm saying this, right? I'm seeing this administration. Thus far, they had a manifesto. Every political party should have a manifesto. And all are basically most of what the manifesto stated in the past election. This administration basically fulfilled it. You know, I'm not saying 100% because I'll be lying. And no way I'm going to be lying for any political party. But what I'm saying is, if we look and we study and we understand, we're going to see that what's been promised from a manifesto point of view, right, that is being fulfilled. Not 100%, but it's been fulfilled. And so we need to look at those things. So if we're having a debate where we could say, okay, this is that and that is that, it should not be based upon personality or how young you are, how old you are, or how long you've been there. But it should be based upon facts gathered and so on. And we should really dig deep into ourselves. So I'm urging the administration to try to integrate political science and ethics and from a religious point of view and make it kind of a mandatory. And I think we as a people understand politics to a higher level. Have yourself a blessed day.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one yourself. 435-2041. And I'm seeing a comment here from someone via the WhatsApp, and they're saying, I'm yet to understand why the traffic department is allowing the trucks to park along the side overlooking the Port Highway with signs erected saying no parking, which can create, let me get that back up for you, with signs saying no parking, which can create an accident around a blind corner closest to the gas station. And that's a comment there from someone via the WhatsApp. Let's go back to the phone line. We lost that caller there. We do have a caller also coming in via the WhatsApp. WhatsApp caller, good morning, and you are live. Good morning to you, WhatsApp caller. How you doing?
Well, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
To your list, deep sympathy on the passing of your relatives. There is lessons that we all need to learn in life. I had the opportunity to see yesterday a recording of Parliament, and I'm appalled that you have persons who has legal qualifications and they have not edified the nation. I think the Prime Minister is too educated for us, it seems. A simple search on the internet will indicate that there are rules for meetings. So there is something called
caller, are you there?
And there is
yeah, we lost you there for a couple of seconds, but you're back.
Yes, I said Robert's Rules of Order, and it's used in all parts of the world. And you have privilege motion. Yes, and with privilege motion, there are certain procedures. So, for example, common privilege motions are fixing the time to adjourn, motion to adjourn, motioning to take recess, raising questions of privilege. And generally, when those things are put forward, it should be immediately voted upon. And nobody has a right to speak on an adjournment. That is allowed. You know, so people must edify themselves. It's there. On another issue, I think we cannot just be emotional when we take decisions. So ideology might come into play when you're talking about political decisions. You have economic issues might come into play, social issues, foreign relations might come into play. and other things. It may even ethnicity, scientific evidence may come into play. We have to consider all of those things when we are making decisions and not be single focused or single-minded or rely solely on one single factor. So with regard to the request for a reader, we have to look at pragmatism, we have to look at the ideology, we have to look at economic factors, we have to look at social factors, and consider all of those, foreign relations, consider all of those in decision-making. And we shouldn't rush to decisions. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
You too, sir. Have a good one yourself. We do have another caller, and this will be after this caller we drew for a break. Let's take this call, and then we take a break. Caller, live. Good morning.
Good morning, Z.
Good morning to you.
People are still asking that question, what's the answer to the premises? I mean, I think that they just not drinking the coffee.
Caller, I'm not sure if it's your phone, but you sound very, very distant for some reason or the other. I'm not sure if you're using a Bluetooth device or something of the nature, but you sound very distant.
Maybe I'm where I'm at. Yeah.
Much better. Much better. Go right ahead, please.
All right. The Prime Minister said to get that request since in August, September, October. You live in a country. You haven't tell them what you decide as yet. So I'm not saying that who waiting for the time to give them an answer. The answer is already given, and the answer I believe is yes. I'm saying I have no problem with that. I believe that's the right decision. Yeah, my belief. But I'm saying that we need to have a prime minister when we get an offer like that, speak to the people, make a proper decision. I don't know what your decision is. Say all this game and I'll tell you next time, I'll tell you that time, I'll tell you that time. That's children play. That's really children play. That don't make any sense. That's why I like St. Vincent. I love Rav Gonzalez. Because the election in St. Vincent is going to be on the 27th of November. Nomination is going to be on the 10th. Rav called the number last night. Follow St. Vincent politics day and night. I'm just saying that people don't get to speak about the environment. Now, we pass laws of sand mining, and we when we were in the hotel in St. David, I saw people protesting. And when the hotel opened, who was there? And then the there opening the hotel, the same guy was protesting. So we're not straight in what we're thinking. We're not perfect in our thinking. We need to think perfect. In other country, have the one of the family said, get some coconut water. You just see some trees on the ground from since the hurricane. That's the time when come here and trees on the ground like that. You say, you ain't going to help in the government. Living in justice. People are demoralized in this country. We need to pick them back up and get them moving. All these games. We need to get serious in this country, brother, and this country moving. People are really demoralized in this country. And we don't understand that. But farmers is very important to me and important to the country. We need to pick them up and help them. They can produce and be happy. The country in extension could be happy. Fruits and vegetables to eat. Have a nice day, brother.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. I did say we drew for a break. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we get into the final segment of today's edition of To The Point. We'll be right back after the short break, folks. Stay with us.
Real value
We are Grand Dance Academy, and we are participating in the GBN Choral Singing Competition. Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in reply, echoing the joyous strains.
I think we will win because we're confident and we sing very good.
I think we will win because we have beautiful voices and we have good singers, and we can make it.
I think that my school will win the competition because we have good singers, we're confident, and we have the right spirit.
Grenada, get ready! GBN and the Ministry of Education presents Christmas Harmony 1.0. The inaugural primary school choir singing competition, December 5th, 1 p.m. The Grenada Trade Center. 15 schools, magical voices, and fierce competition. Cheer for your favorites in categories like overall champion, most creative, best solo, and best group. Entrance adults $10, children $5. Don't miss the holiday magic. Christmas Harmonies 1.0, where Grenada's brightest and youngest voices shine. Be there.
On Sunday, November the 9th from 5 p.m. at the Grenada Trade Center, Legends Promotion presents the 19th annual Hubbard's Legends in Concert featuring the best of Grenada, along with 2 special guest artists. This edition promises to be extra special. Get ready, Grenada, to be blown with surprises at the 19th annual Hubbard's Legends in Concert, Sunday, November the 9th, 5 p.m. Grenada Trade Center. Stay tuned to GBN for more.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. We're into the final segment of today's program. Folks, just approximately 10 minutes or so left on today's edition of To The Point. It's an open line this morning, and we go back to the phone line. Caller, you're live. Good morning and welcome.
Mr. Telesford, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
And a pleasant morning to your listening audience. Now, Mr. Telesford, education is the key. Like one of your previous callers said, how come it was not able to unlock the door to ensure that our parliamentarians receive the information what they're supposed to receive in a timely manner to discuss the people's business? Mr. Telesford, that shows a lack of something, you know. Now, the other part of it I want to look at, I'm convinced to an extent that the adjournment of Parliament was not the shortcoming of those responsible for providing the info to the parliamentarians. Because I find that is just too simple, you know, in order to forget. The other part is this, Mr. Telesford, do you know I was calling on the opposition over the past couple of weeks to make a statement about the request that was made by the U.S.? But in hindsight, sir, when you realize that this request was made since in August, today we are in the end of October. There is no doubt and no question in my mind that we did not receive the relevant update from the government for anybody to make for the opposition to make any statement. Like we on radio, we were saying what we were saying without any proper information from the relevant authority. GT, something is wrong somewhere along the line. Now, the other point I want to make here, GT, listen to this. I mean, something wrong in Grenada. The most popular politician, the most loved, the hardest working politician. I agree, yes. But why this politician, why this member of parliament wouldn't take the podcaster to court for scandalizing his name, accusing him of wrongdoing? And what the podcaster said, take me to court. Sue me if I'm lying. Mr. Popular, Mr. Hardworking, and Mr. Most Loved, as a public servant, Can you please clear your name? GP, quickly here, do you know that I didn't want to believe that, but somehow I find that the NDC political destiny is one that is predetermined. It doesn't matter how good they do, how bad they do. It don't matter if they give every Grenadian $1 million 1 week before the election. Somehow I believe the outcome will be the same. Have a pleasant day, sir.
You too, sir. Have a good one. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning. You're welcome. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, two points, GT. One have to do with a caller that talk about that respond to my earlier contribution on climate. I don't normally like to respond to people, but we had to dispel ignorance where there is. The thing about it, if you remember, I did mention that the Caribbean survived hurricanes, so it's not that hurricanes are something new. What is new is the frequency and the ferocity. So I want to ask the question, the heat that we are experiencing worldwide, in all parts of the world, whether it's in the North Atlantic or in the South Cone and so on, is that normal? Was that always there? And what is the cause of that? We need to answer those questions. Okay, I will leave that for there. The other thing is that in relation to Grenada being requested to give permission, you know there's a fallout with Trinidad already. I mean, people are despising Trinidad. In fact, the Venezuelan government have just suspended or dropped any kind of cooperation in the energy sector. We have to bear in mind that we have been talking with Trinidad in.
Caller, you there? I think we may have lost the caller there just a wee bit. 435-2041. As we move on to another caller this morning, let's go to another caller via the WhatsApp. WhatsApp caller, you're live. Good morning. Welcome.
Hey, GT, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning. How are you doing today, GT?
Doing good. Doing pretty well.
All right. Okay, GT, I just called just to remind people today's a town hall meeting in Deluxe Cinema, Grenville. And we're asking everyone to turn out. And I realize I've been listening to the program. A lot of people have concern and they have questions, especially gentleman in Riverside, Brother Rolo. So asking him to attend the meeting. The Prime Minister will be there. They will be able to have one-on-one with him in the question section. So, everybody have questions. The Prime Minister will be there. So I'm inviting everybody, including you too, GT.
All right, I will try my best to attend. Have a good morning, sir.
Enjoy the rest of your day, my
You
brother.
too. Be good, man. 435-2041. We do have another caller online via the WhatsApp. Let's see if we can get that caller connected and say good morning. Caller via WhatsApp, good morning. Good morning to you. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Not too bad, not too bad. Listen, I'm listening to your program, and I'd just like to remind everybody who's listening that there's only one person in control, and it's the man above. He's called God, yeah? And we need to pay more attention to what's happening in Grenada and around the world, because God is always in control, and he has all this says, and he will always direct our path for our own good, whether good or bad. Because remember the Israelites, they thought they was bigger than God, and you see what happened to them. So just remind people that God is always in control, yeah? Thank you very much.
Thank you also. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. We do have another caller also via the WhatsApp. The WhatsApp call seems to be coming pretty quickly this morning. Let's take another caller via WhatsApp. WhatsApp caller, you're live. Good morning. Welcome.
Yes. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
Thank you for taking my call. I just want to
caller, before you continue, caller, one sec. Before you continue, you seem to have a device in the background that is too loud. Please turn it off completely, please.
Sorry about that. Yes, thank you so much. Sorry about that. Yes, I just want to call upon the nation of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique that we look to the Lord this morning, because God has been so good to us. And as a result, some of us, we just live anyhow and saying that God is a Grenadian. But God is still God. God does not change. He said, I am God, I change not. And we need to turn to the Lord this morning. Look at what is going on all around us, all around the world, right in our nation. God is speaking. He say, He speak on the water. He walking on the wings, and He's
We seem to have lost that caller there. Of course, our apology for that. It has brought us exactly to the 10 o'clock hour this morning, which means it's time for us to take a wrap for today's edition of The Point. I want to thank everyone who contributed towards today's program. Thank you so much. And once again, of course, hope all works out for you for the rest of the day. Whatever plans you have for the rest of the day, certainly hope that it works out in the best way possible. I want to also say thanks to the folks who, of course, sat at home and you listened to the program this morning. Thank you also, and continue to listen to The Point. Once again, we had to just switch to an open line to this morning, and of course my guests were not able to make it today. Hopefully we can have rescheduled for next week, and we could, of course, should have been a very interesting lineup this morning, but for various reasons they could not have made it to the program this morning. Hey folks, that's where we take a wrap for today's edition of To The Point. Once again, have a good one. That's why I say goodbye. Join me again tomorrow, once your Almighty permits. I will be here to, of course, to take you through another edition of To The Point. Goodbye, folks.